The Iranian people are boldly protesting across cities throughout Iran. To understand what is unraveling by the minute, we speak with longtime contributor Iman Foratan, is chairman of the board of trustees of the New Iran and founder of SOS Iran. Joining us as well is Hisam, based in Turkey. He is the director of civil disobedience for the New Iran and for SOS Iran. Thank you both for joining me. I understand we have people connected through encrypted phone lines and able to speak with us right now from Iran. So why don't we begin with this?
Hi, Felice. Thank you so much for inviting us to your program. Yes, indeed, we do have two people, two of our activists, SOS activists inside Iran, and they're in the room, I believe. So if you wish to start with them with your questions, please go ahead.
Well, first, I want to thank everyone for joining me, and I understand, obviously, the sensitivity here. The most important thing that people are trying to understand is how far, how wide is the protests? How many cities? Let's begin with that.
سپاسگزارم ایمان جان این اعتراضات امشب وارد شب هفتم.
He thanks you for inviting him to the program. He said right now they're starting the 7th night of protests inside Iran in over 35 cities and smaller cities and larger cities. And he went ahead and read the names of what is happening right now. The names of the cities he just recalled is what's happening as we're speaking right now during this interview.
Okay, we can review that after, Iman. I think what we need to do at the moment is get a sense of how large, how many thousands of people? Are we talking tens of thousands? Are we talking closer to 20,000? What are the numbers here on the streets?
ببینید این در شهرهای مختلف به صورت محل محور دارن تجمع میکنن.
So what is explained is that as people have been trained, and we've been part of that, is that they need to start these protests in small groups in their around where they live. So he's saying throughout the country, we have had gatherings of at least 500 to over 8,000, depending on the city and the location. This is the best estimate that he can give us right now. But of course, in the videos we've seen, some of the streets have, many more, but at least this is the conservative first-hand report that we have.
What does he know concerning people that have been killed? We understand that there are some protesters that were killed and they were shot. We also understand that there was a Revolutionary Guard volunteer that was killed. What can he share?
بله تا الان بیش از 20 نفر کشته شدن.
To date, we know that 20 people have been killed. 15 of those, we have the names. 5 other names are we don't have yet, but we know that they were killed as the count has been counted. The one person you mentioned that potentially was a volunteer of the Basij or IRGC, he was not. The person who died, his father, has just come out and said, my son had nothing to do with him. This was a trick of the government. That basically my son was a protester, and this was a trick of the government who wanted to have one casualty on their own side.
How tough are the police right now? I mean, they're throwing pellet guns. Are they shooting with live fire? What is happening?
ایمان جان من اول بگم که بچه‌ها هنوز داخل راهشون ندادن. پشت درن.
Felice, he says the other 2 people from Iran are still waiting behind the door in Zoom. So I thought they were in and they could chime in. So do you want to let him in? There will not be any camera.
Let them in, please. Yes, Iman, please let them in. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and safety first. The most important thing that I think we're trying to understand is how dangerous these protests have become. And I want to begin there with everyone. How have the police clamped down? And what are they doing physically?
When this thing started 7 days ago from the bazaar, which is the big market in downtown, people were really only protesting against the quality of life, with the price of value of dollar, a real going so far down. And as you can probably have seen, stores are closing down. Even store owners don't feel right to sell to people because they say that's not, those prices are not right. So basically what she first said is that people came out, they all wanted to just protest peacefully about the condition of life before things got to where they got. She said, yes, the security forces are beating people up. They're actually trying to suppress them as much as they can. She said, unfortunately, they're also shooting at people. She said specifically something sad happened yesterday in the city of Qom, that they actually blew up a man, a very loved and respected man, local man, with a grenade, and he went into pieces. The government official did that. This is what Hadi said right now.
Is Hadith on the streets herself? And how safe does she feel?
بله ببخشید که ما البته که مثل همیشه اینترنتمون رو هم ضعیف کردن.
Yes, she has personally and does personally go into the protest. Without naming location, she is in the vicinity of Tehran, and she said she has seen with her own eyes the water cannons and all the efforts of the security forces not to allow people to gather. So they're doing anything and everything that they can to prevent people from gathering together, including water cannons and the Bibi guns that we have seen before.
We have seen these demonstrations before, and we saw one in the past year. We were thinking that we would see it expand. It didn't. Does she feel that this is going to stay true to their goals in terms of what you mentioned, both ends of economic problems and also possibly a regime change that some of them are seeking? So I think that that is the core question here. Will these protests continue?
من میتونم این رو بگم که ما چاره‌ای جز این که به نتیجه برسیم نداریم چون آخرین
We have no choice but to succeed. We have taken our life in our hands as our weapon, and we're in the streets. In Mashhad and all these other cities that she mentioned, people not only are out, but they're also chanting the name of who they want, which is Reza Pahlavi. They have no fear. So she says, this is what we have, this is what we're doing. It seems like the whole country is coming all together and united towards this finality that they have been all looking for.
I know this is extremely sensitive and emotional, and Iman, you've been at this for many years, and I really feel your pain, and I really feel for the safety of every person that's on the ground fighting for freedom. My question right now is, do they feel any kind of sense of strength from what President Trump has said, that if any of the protesters were harmed, the United States would intervene? And from what you're saying right now, it's a lot more serious than I believe that the media is reporting.
من لازمه اینجا این رو بگم که روز اول تظاهرات با جمعیت کمی شروع شد.
Before recent events, or at the beginning of the events 7 days ago, Iran was trending as number 22 on X, on Twitter, on X. After the world started looking at Iran last few days, now Iran is top 5 trending in Twitter, which means the world is looking at Iran and what's going on in Iran. So that really gives them hope, gives them the fact that people in the world are listening to them. Specifically about Trump, she says, she supports Trump, she thanks Trump, and it's fantastic that his message, Trump's message, gave her and others the feeling that somebody outside, somebody powerful, is hearing their voice, and this person has eliminated all the middlemen and is directly talking to people that he should be talking to. And it's been very good, the Trump message that came out yesterday.
If Hissam could come in right now and talk to what he's hearing from others on the ground regarding President Trump's statements, what is the reaction?
ایمان جان، انگیزه داخل کشور بعد از حمایت آقای ترامپ
He's saying that since yesterday and Trump's note, the number of local and smaller cities, people rising up, has increased. People, actually, what he hears is that they finally hear that there's somebody strong enough to talk to directly to Khamenei and tell him what he can or cannot do against the people of Iran. And therefore, he says it's all been extremely positive. Plus, he says, obviously, what is happening right now, or happened yesterday in Venezuela, that should also be something, a lesson for Khamenei and people, which is something that I wanted to add eventually. Exactly. What's happening in Venezuela could repeat itself very soon inside Iran.
Let's bring in Garjavidan right
Yeah.
now to hear what he's thinking. Garjavidan, thank you for joining us. I want to understand if you've been marching on the streets for the last almost week. It's just beginning a week. What are you encountering among the people on the streets? Are the majority about the economy, or are most of them about the reform and freedom?
درود بر شما دکتر عزیز و همه عزیزان حاضر.
He's basically saying when it all first started from Bazaar, it was the prices, it was the economy, and it was inflation, everything else. But very soon, chants started changing to what people really want, which is freedom and calling the name of their leaders.
Do they think that there will be a change, a sea change, that there will be a change of government? How do they think this is going to end?
قبلی اینه که توی این اعتراضات مردم
Iman,
Yes.
can you explain what is happening right now, why we're not hearing them, how we are reaching them? I think that the audience needs to be made clear what's happening.
What's happening right now, we have two of our SOS activists dialing in from inside Iran, one lady around the vicinity of Tehran, another one, Garda Javidan, who's actually talking to us from one of the central provinces, states inside Iran. As you know, the government of Iran, as it's their playbook, as soon as the demonstrations start, they always first weaken the internet, then they totally cut them off. And then during those periods that they've cut those off, that's when they do the most brutality. So the reason we have having these issues, the lady who calls from around Tehran, her voice was bad at the beginning because of VPN quality, then became better. This gentleman right now, we're having a heck of a time to actually trying to understand what he's saying because of being cut off. Okay, he fell outside the room again because of the internet. They
Right.
cannot.
So the question remains, do they feel there will be a regime change? What is the end game here?
ایمان جان ما با داخل ایران ارتباط مستقیم داریم مردم باور دارن
He is in direct contact, and I can attest to that almost 24/7 to our activists and to the people of Iran. He says the people inside actually this time believe this is the end, and end of this will be regime change. And he also said they believe that after that, the Pahlavi dynasty will come. That's Hissam's opinion, and most everybody who's there. But they actually believe this is going to end in regime change.
What kind of help do they need to enable this change? Is it internally? Is it externally?
اگر اجازه بدین من دو تا مطلب رو بگم که به نظرم خیلی مهمه. یکی
She says, let me explain two things, if I may. Her last sentence was, yes, we believe we're going to take this over. We believe we're going to have regime change. But she started saying that the regime now is arresting a lot of people and a lot of younger people, a lot of people under 18 years old. They arrest them. She even mentioned the name of a 14-year-old, which was apparently killed recently. I'll ask more details if she wants by the regime. And she says, as we speak right now in the province of Elam, there is hell going on. They're shooting at people. There are at least, I think she said 10 injured, if not killed. They have all the names. So a lot is going on in even province of Elam, which is a much smaller location, place than Tehran.
How are they getting information to each other?
ایمان جان این اطلاعات بلافاصله در فیلم‌های خیلی کوتاه
Hessam, who's been coordinating this, he says that we have put systems together that people know how to take these short videos or reports, and the best way that they do, we have people with VPNs and with phones and stuff from the past. They're kind of ready for this. Each small group has their own person responsible for uploading these videos. So once they upload it to Instagram or some other Telegram or whatever, that's when all the news goes wild because everybody has around the world has access to it. So their job is take a short report, whatever it is, and upload it by specific people who have been assigned to do these tasks.
I want to take a minute to talk about the economy. You know, a lot of this began because of the water situation, the real depreciating, and what's happening in terms of the economy at large. What can they share in terms of how bad it is on the streets?
بله، باید بگم که واقعا شرایطی که تا حالا من خودم ندیده بودم و خیلی
She's
ناراحتم
saying
کننده
she's
است.
never
همچنین
seen this before as far as economy in all her life. She says right now a loaf of bread, which feeds what, one, two, three people, right now it's 500,000 reals, which is 50,000 tomans. She says
In dollars, Iman?
in dollars 500,000 50,000 تومان میشه نیم دلار، درسته؟ میشه 50 cents. It's about 50 cents for one loaf of bread. But more importantly is the threshold for being poor right now is basically 90 million, I think, tomans or reals for people. But the average worker only gets paid per month 12 million. So the difference, in other words, they have to make up about 70 or so million, which they don't have. They only have 12 million. And the minimum they have to get to just to be able to live for a small family is 90 million.
We need to translate that into dollars again. It's important.
Okay. She basically calculates, it says the threshold for poverty is $650 a month, and they don't even get, چقدر فهمیدید حدیث خانم؟ $100.
حتی خیلی کمتر از $100.
And what the people actually can earn is much less than $100. So the difference is between $650 they need to be just to be poverty line, and they're 5 times less than that average, the people who are they're workers.
What does she attribute this drop to? How did this happen suddenly?
من میتونم بگم که به خاطر اینکه ارتباط ما با دنیا
She says because that we're cut off, Iran is cut off from the rest of the world. With regards to trade, nobody really looks into Iran and what is going on inside Iran. And all these add up to the poor quality of life that they have and not having what they really need. That's what she said. I would also add, obviously, the incompetency of the regime over the last few decades.
So you think that the sanctions actually had this kind of impact?
من فکر میکنم که این تحریما خیلی بجا و تاثیرگذار بوده به خاطر اینکه
She's saying that absolutely the sanctions have worked. This is the result of the sanctions. It has reduced the power of the regime because of the sanctions on oil. As part of her last answer, she also mentioned the fact that regime does not have oil to sell, therefore they have less resources to suppress people and beat them up and all that other stuff. And she says the people, she is speaking for herself, I'm sure for her compatriots also, they're willing to take on and accept these sanctions because they know that ultimately it is hurting the regime, and that's going to help the people of Iran to get where they need to go, both economic-wise and also for human rights and freedom.
We have seen that the university professors have joined in on the marches. Is she able to share who else has joined and the ages of and the makeup of the people that are protesting?
بله من خودم استاد دانشگاه هستم در ایران و
She says herself is a university professor. So she does go to, when she goes to university last few days, her students ask her, we're going to go, should we go and protest? If we go, will you come? And she has said, yes, I'll go with you. And so she actually has first-hand news about the question that you asked. She says all layers of the society are joining. She just mentioned this old lady with a walker chanting in the streets and in the protests, and all kinds of ages and gender, men and women, they're all actually joining every day.
In terms of safety, are there mechanisms in place for these people that are on the streets? They know that it's going to get more dangerous.
ما تا اونجایی که میتونیم سعی میکنیم که
She says that at the beginning it started with these BB guns and water cannons or whatever, but now they're actually shooting at people. They're, as we've seen, they're killing young people and others. And we do the best that we can as far as our safety. However, you never know, and these regime people are actually attacking them. She says, all we have is our life in their hands as our weapon. And the reason, one of the main reasons they're out, that they're really counting on Bibi Netanyahu's promise to protect the people of Iran if they get out. She says we really count on Mr. Netanyahu, and we really are counting on President Trump, especially after his message yesterday, to protect us because people cannot take it anymore. Basically, people are out and they're saying there's nothing above the, black, and they're all moving forward like that.
Hadith, are you married? Do you have children, if I can ask?
She says, yes, she's married, and she sees this as her duty to try to free Iran to have a better life than hers.
First of all, I want to thank Hadith, and please stay safe. I hope that we can speak with you again as we see the events unraveling. I appreciate your time. And again, speaking from Iran, I know there are safety issues here, and thank Iman as well. And Hissam will speak a little more after in terms of what's happening all these years in Iran and how all of this has unraveled. It's been a tremendous 2 decades of following this with you and actually interviewing into Iran. And this, I believe, is a historic moment that we are all seeing.
آقای دکتر ممنون از شما و از خانم فیلیس. آقای دکتر شما انسان ارزشمندی هستید.
پاینده ایران جاوید شاه, she thanked you, she thanked me for everything we have done, and she said that people of Iran, of course her and the people of Iran, will never forget who helped them and who stood against them once all the dust settles. And she thanked you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of people of Iran, at least for what she's doing. And she said at the end, Payande Iran, which means long live Iran, and Javid Shah means long live Shah of Iran.
Hadith, stay safe, and we hope to speak with you again shortly. Iman, I do want to ask you a few questions concerning the Ayatollah Khomeini making a statement to Trump, stating very firmly that his intervention is one against international law. The Iranian Foreign Ministry came out, and they also had comments about what's happening. They both, as a matter of fact, that was the Foreign Ministry, but the Ayatollah himself came out and was very upset with President Trump's intervention. So I think that there seems to be pressure on the leadership there. And what are you hearing from the people that you're in touch with?
Like you said, Khamenei has come out and has said something, and threats that between him and the foreign ministry, the hollow threats have had all this time. I mean, if US was able to go after Fordo and basically knock out everything the Islamic Republic has done over the last 20 some years, then, and knowing well what's going on in Venezuela, they know that if the US and Israel want, they can do what needs to be done. But since they have the media under control, in fact, I just listened to a voice from a smaller city on the western side of Iran. She was saying that even 7 days ago, things were not as what we see is going on in Tehran. But last couple of days, he says this chance of Javid Shah and long live Shah and death of the dictator and whatever has even gotten to there, and people day by day are getting more powerful, they're getting more united. They're actually talking amongst themselves. She was saying the media inside Iran controls and still doesn't show any of this, obviously. Only people who have access to international news or online, they can see that. But even those people are slowly amongst themselves whispering. They know things are happening and things are going on in the right direction, if you will. So what's important, from what I hear from people of Iran, they have 2 requests specifically from Mr. Netanyahu and President Trump. In addition to what both have said in many occasions, that they will support the uprising of people of Iran, one of the things that the regime keeps telling the people of Iran, the Islamic, is that if we go, Iran is going to be divided. We're going to lose our territorial integrity. So, in fact, we have a letter to President Trump from the new Iran, which will go out today, which specifically asks him, and we should ask Mr. Netanyahu also, to somehow unequivocally tell the world that as the regime changes, they're going to protect the territorial integrity of Iran. That will actually help the people of Iran and the fear that they may have because of the lies of the regime that if we go, then Iran is going to be, taken into pieces. So if they can actually say that they will support Iran, they will not allow like ISIS or Taliban or whatever come to Iran, that will be huge, I think, both for the people of Iran and how quickly the protest can move forward. And the second one is obviously, the security and logistics and the free internet, specifically to Mr. Trump, President Trump and Elon Musk. I remember, and you may recall, Felice, that over 10, 15 years ago, when Mrs. Clinton was either the senator or foreign minister, they were supposed to have $10 million and provide free internet to the people of Iran. It never happened. Now, with the power that US and Starlink have, I think if we can provide the free internet to the people of Iran, it will be a game changer overnight. And I think things like that may happen soon. In my opinion, and I've said this over many months, seems like everything that I predicted one by one is happening. Having known Trump for so many of Trump and reading his books and knowing his personality, he does take risks, but calculated risks. A lot of people were upset with Trump. Why didn't he go and finish or allow Bibi to go and finish Islamic Republic a few months ago after they attacked the nuclear sites? From an Iranian point of view, myself, I would have loved for that to have happened. But from being also Iranian American, I know that Trump does not want to be seen by the world as a person who actually directly does a regime change. It wants things to happen, even with winners, and then he does not necessarily take sides until he's absolutely sure. So what's happening in Venezuela is just basically an appetizer what could happen to Iran. We know that Israelis and Mossad and Israeli agents are inside Iran. We see signs of that all the time. We now know for sure that President Trump knows what's going on inside Iran. He hasn't yet come out and to say even more powerful stuff. Even what he said yesterday was fantastic. But I think, in my opinion, this is what needs to happen. Venezuela, it's almost over. So they've got to figure out who's going to take over, whether the lady who won the Nobel Peace Prize or some other method. I believe that Trump will also want to finish Russia and Ukraine's war and a peace plan. I personally believe that Iran is part of the formula of negotiations with Russia. Putin probably will say, give me this so I will not support Islamic Republic. But once Venezuela goes, once that Ukraine-Russia war actually settles down, the only place left is Iran. Hezbollah is gone, Hamas is gone, Venezuela is gone, Syria is gone. Khamenei has nobody, so he can bluff all he wants. Nobody believes him. The world do not believe him. I personally feel sooner or later, one night we'll wake up and we'll see Khamenei has, I don't know, left. I don't know where he's going to go, China or Russia. There's nowhere else to take him, maybe Cuba.
You set up what could happen, and it could happen. I think only time will tell. My big question is, where are the Arab leaders? They have the most to benefit. They sit on those borders. They're worried about Iran's nuclear armament. They're worried about the ballistic missiles. One day they're a friend, one day they're not. Their voices should also be present. Why not?
It's a very good question because right now, as you know, the Arab countries are absolutely 100% supporting President Trump and Mr. Netanyahu's efforts with regard to Gaza. So we know that's working. Now, for the Arab countries to come out and take sides, I think there could be many reasons, but one of them is that generally the Arab countries have never liked a powerful Iran over the years. Because we know because of the size of Iran, because of the potential that Iran has to become a regional both military power and economic power. So I would not necessarily think they're just jumping in their seats saying, yes, this Islamic regime is going to go and then we're going to make a better Iran. However, at the same time, in parallel, they know all the evil that the Islamic regime has brought to Saudi Arabia, attacking the Aramco and other places. So I think they are going to wait a bit. They're going to find out exactly what's going to happen with regards to Trump. And I believe once President Trump decides that it's time for the end of the regime, he will either give an ultimatum. Remember, he called Maduro Trump and probably said, hey, you got a month, leave it or we'll come and take it. He didn't, and they took him yesterday. So knowing Trump, once things are settled and ready, he will probably issue some kind of an ultimatum. But I doubt it if US will go in or do any direct attacks. I think will be done internally inside Iran and through the forces of Israel.
Let's turn to Hissam for a moment about the SOS Iran that you began within the year. You launched it with the media line. And how has that assisted what's happening that we are seeing on the ground today?
بله سپاسگزارم. دقیقا یه شبکه به صورت سیستماتیک کمکی به ما کرد.
He says that having SOS Iran has been a fantastic tool, this network that has allowed him and others to find one another anonymously and safely using the system. He says through the SOS Iran network system, he has been able to identify and is currently working for about 50 leaders, we call them ringleaders or team leaders around the country, without them knowing one another. And if I may add, Hessam has been coordinating with people, the New Iran organization, along with a few other organizations that are connected and collaborating inside SOS Iran network. They have printed and actually created thousands of lion and sun flags inside Iran. We planned this over a year and a half ago. We knew this day will be coming. It's not easy to go inside Iran, and we'll show you videos and everything, and print these flags and posters of Reza Pahlavi, tens of thousands of those. We started doing those a year and a half ago, and now Hessam has been coordinating with our leaders around Iran. These are being shipped via postal mail inside Iran to different cities. We have videos picking them up. In fact, I think I even saw some of these, a few of our people with the flags just this morning inside Iran. So the next thing is that we're distributing these flags to people that we know. We're working directly with the Secretariat of Reza Pahlavi with regards to what they think they need from other organizers or different groups. We're in contact with different groups. And this machine, which I call it, SOS Iran, I call it the fighting machine, which is really a systematic method that does not have a central head, but allows people to, in a network way, to get to know one another, collaborate, and do it safely.
Wissam, if you can share with me what the needs are of the Iranian people, both internally and externally. What is, in order of like the top three things that people need right now, what are they?
در واقع مردم ایران سه تا خواسته از دولت‌های خارجی دارن.
He says there's at least three main needs that people of Iran have. The first and foremost is a free internet available to the people of Iran so that people can truly and accurately show the world the brutality of this regime and what is really going on inside Iran. Hessam says that the second more important thing is, as the Israeli officials and Prime Minister Netanyahu on multiple occasions, especially after the 12 days war, they said that they will support people of Iran if they get out and start the protest. They're really looking into this for Israel to help and neutralize the suppression units inside Iran. They call it Iran Sarkub, which Khamenei has just come out and basically given them order to go ahead and do whatever needs to be done to quash the protest. So that's what they're asking and hoping, that specifically Israel, but other countries, to hope and support the people of Iran during these protests. And he's saying that since the people of Iran truly only trust Prince Reza Pahlavi, they're hoping that the foreign countries, US or other countries, officially recognize Reza Pahlavi as the leader of this revolution, which will certainly provide, which is really the chant of almost all the people, at least what we hear from all over Iran.
We're not hearing European countries come forward either. Why are we not?
مردم ایران خیلی وقته که اصلا از اروپا هیچ امیدی به اروپا ندارن.
He
اروپا
says
40
that it's been a
ساله
long time that the
از
people of
منابع
Iran do
نفت و
not count on
معدنی که از
Europeans and
هولو
European countries to support them. Europe has been taking advantage of Iran's resources and everything for a long time, and that's one of the main reasons that they don't expect Europe necessarily to do that. If I may also add, for this myself, is that I personally believe that what's happening inside Iran and outside is very similar to what's happening inside the United States right now. The left, mostly Democrat Party people, are doing everything that they can to actually oppose anything that is common sense, both inside the United States and outside. I personally believe that many countries in Europe, including France, including Germany, including many others who are for a long time have been, in my opinion, controlled or at least influenced by the likes of George Soros and Klaus and others, as far as the new world order, they do not wish to see what's really happening and the huge transformation that President Trump has done throughout the world with his policies, including what has happened supportive of Netanyahu for Gaza and Hamas and Hezbollah and Syria and everything else. So we're not counting on Europe to necessarily come out, except right now we're counting on, he says, counting on the United States, Israel, and United Kingdom.
Iman, it begs the question about Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. When everyone sees his face, really much more public in the recent years, particularly, they're thinking that he's going to come into Iran, take over, and a kingdom is going to be reestablished. Is that the case?
Absolutely not. Thank you for asking this important question. Unfortunately, either intentionally or unintentionally, a lot of the world media and even those some Iranians, they portray Prince Reza Pahlavi, as you said, this person who's ready to become a king and rule Iran and all that stuff, and almost like a dictatorial person. Nothing is further than the truth. Prince Reza Pahlavi, actually, the organizations like the New Iran and a lot of us that were present in the first meeting in Munich, Germany in February 2025, we had to beg Prince Reza Pahlavi to actually become the leader of this revolution, to take the people of Iran from this side of the Islamic Republic line to freedom. In fact, I was there. I was sitting one chair next to Prince Reza Pahlavi in Munich. For an hour and a half, every organization asked him and begged him, and he more to become the king, to become the, all that stuff, that he really doesn't want to be. And he actually got frustrated to the point, and he said, do I want to become the person that the entire Iran believes in? And don't make me this person that you want. He specifically asked people around the world, don't call me the king and all that stuff that you do, or Javid Shah. I'm only here to help you to go that side. So this is nothing new. He's been saying that for over 3 or 4 decades publicly. So in my opinion, no one in this world can actually and has the power and the authority to lead this revolution except Reza Pahlavi. Why? Because of the trust that the people of Iran finally have for his father and his grandfather, and of course for himself, that he's been steady. He's been saying the same thing over and over. He has not asked for attacking Iran or military action. He's always been for civil disobedience. And finally, the people can see the wisdom of his actions. This is all happening organically. And Mr. Reza Pahlavi, Prince Reza Pahlavi, has been the leader of this and will be leader until Iran is freed.
Well, Dr. Iman Foratan, it's been a pleasure to spend the time. I'm sorry that it's on such a sad note, actually, where many people are being killed on the streets in Iran, hopefully for the better of the country, and that this ends quickly. Hissam, thank you for taking time to explain more about SOS Iran. I would like to bring you both back again as things continue. And thanks, and stay safe to everyone.
منم از ایشون سپاسگزاری میکنم که همیشه تو شرایط سخت صدای مردم ایران بودن. متشکرم.
he is also thanking you that you've always been there for to bring out and show the people of the world the voices of people of Iran through interviews such as this one that you've been doing over the last 2 decades with us.
Well, thank you, and again, safety to all, and may the outcome be good.
Thank you so much, Elise, for your time, and thanks again for the media line to be an outlet to actually publish the voices of people of Iran. Thank you.
You're welcome.